Welcome back. This is Lucas Leonard, seen here in a family video, smiling as his sister opened up a birthday present. This was in 2014. He was murdered the next year by members of Word of Life Christian Church, a cult near Utica. His own parents participated in the beating. Local journalist Susan Ashline dove deep into the story and wrote her first book, Without a Prayer. I picked it up and had to put it down. I was forced to put it down just pages from the end so I could interview Ashline at the Barnes & Noble in Webster. What I appreciated about it is it's so hard for most people to understand cults, which is why it's so powerful. It's the mystery. What I found interesting is following the Leonard family is at least a mild understanding of how it happened. Is there still mystery to you in how they got sucked into such an ugly situation?
I understand how they got sucked in now. I needed help understanding it while I was researching it and writing it, and I had help from the family and help from former cult members. So I understand how they got sucked in. I understand that this evolved slowly over time. It was a slow control, manipulation, brainwashing. I find it difficult to understand how, after a point, they didn't kind of come out of it and say, we need to leave this behind at that point. It's like watching domestic violence unfold, and that's also a slow process. So, you know, it's similar in that you remember the good times, you hope you're going to go back to the good times, you start to ignore the bad, and then you start to actually think that, well, this is just the way life is, so you kind of stay stuck in it.
Bruce Leonard was one of the people who had a hand in his own son's death, Lucas. When you interviewed him, did you sense remorse?
I visited him in prison about a month ago, and he brought up his son's name, and there's deep, deep grieving, and he was overcome, and he had to stop. He is the only one out of 9 who has shown any remorse or taken any responsibility.
One of the reasons he did attack his own son is he believed in that moment that Lucas had molested children, because that's what Lucas was saying. The DA says that he likely was saying that out of spite, making that up to upset the people in front of him or to get out of the situation. What do you think?
Absolutely agree with that. Lucas, and watching, there were over 300 hours of videos. I didn't watch all 300 hours, but I did watch a lot, and it was clear that Lucas was completely detached from that situation, from that church. And I truly believe that he was making things up so he could get to these people by using his mind. He couldn't do it any other way.
They truly believed that Pastor Jerry and Pastor Tiffany were talking to God. They truly believed that.
They were God's mouthpiece, and if these people left, then they would cut off their link to God. That is truly what they believed. I'm telling you, it's a great read. And I am allowed to say this. The book is generating a lot of interest from the film industry. That's all I'll say, and I won't say no more. To see more interviews like this one, go to rochesterfirst.com, and when you get there, go to the Adam Interviews section.